So for this one, this is 6.3% proportion. So what it's asking is when given an unknown and we're dealing with percents, these are just some strategies that we can use to help find that unknown. So first off, we need to identify what is it asking? What am I finding? So let's look at number 1. It says what number, so usually x, is equals 20% of 40. And when I get that 20%, I put that into decimal form. So remember, I divide by 100, so I go 1, 2, which gives me 0.20 of times 40. So x is equal to 2 tenths or 20 hundredths times 40. So when I see that, I can write out that equation first off. Another strategy would be to use a model. Oh, not that kind of model. Miss Hulk, you're so funny. I know. But this kind of model. So this is a model. So if I said what number is 20% of 40, so I would put 40 down here. So 40 is the same as 100. And my 0 would be 0. So I want to figure out where 20% would be. So I know 50% is right about here. So then if I try to break down and put them into fourths, well, no, so 20%, this would be about 25. So this model would be a good estimator. So 50%, that would be 20. 25, half of that would be 10. So then I want 20%, so just a little bit more. And this I would guesstimate maybe 12. So for my model, that's kind of used for guessing or estimating. Or if I wanted to use a ratio table, and this is kind of my preferred way. And once I get going with this, this is going to seem very familiar to you. So for a ratio table, I first set out my percent. So I'm dealing with 20%. So I put that into a fraction. 20 over 100 is equal to something over 40. And the reason that I know that it's something over 40 is because of this of 40. That of 40 tells me that my 40 is my whole number. So this is my whole, and this is my part. Okay? And then, just as you can see, you cross multiply and divide. So that would be 20 times 40, which would give me 2 times 4 is 800. And then I would divide by 100, which would give me 8. Yes. All right, so my answer would be 8. And if I took, using my calculator, to answer this equation, 0.2 times 40, that will also give me 8. So I just overwhelmed you with 3 strategies, and that's okay, because we're going to continue to use these strategies on 3 more problems. So first I have my equation. So let's look at number 2. So first I can write out my equation. 12 is what percent of 50? So I have 12 is what percent of 50? So 12 is what percent, so some unknown, that's going to be a percentage of times 50. So I guess instead of the question mark, I just could put X. And remember, if I solve it, when I solve it this way, it will come out as a decimal. So I would take 12 divided by 50, right? Because I am moving my X. So 12 divided by 50. And that will give me decimals, so 0.24. And to go from a decimal to a percent, I multiply by 100, so I will get 24%. So that is one way. If you like that equation, then you can stick with that. If not, if you are a little bit more visual, we can, you know what, I really don't like the model. Use a ratio table. So I've got some percent, X over 100, and 12 is my part and 50 is my whole. And then I solve. So I take 12 times 100 divided by 50, which will then give me 24 over 100, which, as we already know, taking fractions into percents gives me 24%. Right. And it is also very important how I knew, so my of 50, I knew that would be my whole, and this what percent told me that I was trying to find percents. Hopefully you picked that up also. Okay, we'll bring out our next set of questions. All right. So 42 is 60% of what number? That tells me I am looking for my whole. Okay. So if I were to write out as an equation, 42 equals 60%, but I put that into a decimal, of some number. So I put X. So there's a lot of X's up there. I guess I could just put times X. So then what I do is, to get my unknown the same, I would divide by my decimal on both sides. And that will give me 42 divided by 0.670. So my whole should be 70. And to double check that, I will use my ratio table. So my unknown is my whole here. I have 60% over 100, and my part is 42. So my part, my whole, 100 times 42, that would be 4,200 divided by 60. That is not easy math in my head. 4,200 divided by 60 that will give me 70. So my answer is 70. Okay, last one. What number is 150% of 92? All right, so think to yourself, what is this asking? Is it asking for the percent, the whole, or the part? So what number is 150%, so I put that as a decimal. I go 1, 2. So 1.5 times 92. I am looking for my part. So, written out on my equation, I would take 1.5 times 92 to get 138. So let's double check that to see if it is correct with our ratio table. So for my percent, I would take 150 over 100 still. So it doesn't matter that 150 is bigger than 100. It's still a percent. It's still over 100. And my part is my unknown, and my whole is 92 because it says of 92. So I would cross multiply and divide. And that is not easy math either. So I would take 150 times 92, which would equal 130. No, that's 13,800. Divide by 100, 138. So my answers match. I'm good to go. My answer is 138.